What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Wow. So today we are back going to be talking about Survivor Season 40, Winners at War, talking all about the fire tokens. So my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa. And in case you guys haven't seen Entertainment Weekly, it released like this, I wouldn't call it an interview, but like a 3-minute clip of Jeff Probst talking more about fire tokens and how they're going to be working in the game. And so we said before that we don't really know how fire tokens are going to work, and that was part of our like confusion with this twist. After watching this like interview thing with Jeff Probst, I'm still kind of confused about it. So we're just gonna get into it.
Yeah, so this podcast will be all about what Jeff is saying fire tokens are. Super exciting. We're 3 weeks away from the premiere of season 40. It is freaking wild. And then next week, so Friday or so, we are going to be talking about all of the videos that ET Canada posted. So if you want to watch those before we podcast, like talking about and reviewing all of those videos, check those out in the next 6 days before we podcast again.
Yay! Okay, so Jeff Probst basically explained that the reason they thought of doing fire tokens is because they see Survivor as like a mini society, and all societies eventually develop like a currency of some sort. And so fire tokens are Survivor society's currency. And the way it's going to work is that each player starts with a fire token, and then when they get voted out, they can bequeath their fire token to anyone else. And so the people in the game have fire tokens, but the people on Exile Island, or whatever they're calling the island this season, are they calling it the Island of Extinction again?
Like Extinction Island? Yeah, I just say
Island, whatever.
Edge.
Yeah. And the people on Edge won't have any tokens, but they'll have access to advantages. And the people on Edge will sell their advantages to the people in the game in exchange for fire tokens. And then they can use their fire tokens to buy an advantage in the competition that lets them get back from the Edge. And so, to me, the things that aren't really explained are how else do people earn fire tokens? Like, is it just that there's only ever going to be 20 in the game? Or
Yeah,
is
like
it
a finite amount, or
is
are
it
they
like you're
hidden?
going to win them? Are you going to find them? Like, I wish that we had known more about how fire tokens are going to enter and exit the game, because it seems like that's just weird. And then another thing Jeff said was that the people selling the advantages are going to be able to determine how much it costs. So, like, if I have an advantage and I'm like, oh, my advantage is a steal a vote, I want to sell it for like 30 fire tokens, I can say that. And the whole thing is that, like, you want to sell it for a low enough price that the person will actually have the fire tokens. Because if they don't like agree to purchase your advantage by sundown, then your advantage is gone and you don't get the fire tokens. And I don't know. I feel like an all winner season is a poor time to like test out this like economy system, especially because so many of the winners already know each other. And so it's like Rob might sell Amber an advantage for 0 fire tokens because they're married, and if she wins the game, he still gets $1 million or $2 million.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that it's 2 million instead of 1 million. But anyways, so it's like what is preventing them from just selling their allies advantages? And like it just seems
Nothing, right?
yeah, nothing's preventing them from doing that. And basically their only incentive is buying an advantage in the challenge to get back from the Edge. But it's like sometimes if you have an advantage in an immunity challenge, it doesn't do anything for you. Like, I feel like it really depends on the challenge whether or not getting an advantage is actually useful.
Yeah, I feel like with the paying for advantages, I low-key have some qualms about that because, like we've seen in previous seasons, when they do these kinds of like at the auction, win at advantage for the next immunity challenge kind of thing, usually the person who gets that advantage wins the next immunity challenge, because either the advantage is too OP or like they get practice time with the challenge. So then like obviously they're going to have more skills than like someone who has never practiced on the challenge before. And so it just seems, I think, a little bit unfair, considering if they do 2 challenges to get back from the Edge of Extinction Island, then like 1 at the merge, okay, then hopefully not 1 at Final 6 again, and then hopefully they pushed it back after the backlash from Chris's season, and hopefully it's maybe like a merge challenge and then a like 7 final 8 challenge. Because I don't know, if everyone just has like advantages, like a time advantage, or you start 10 seconds later or like 3 minutes later in a balancing challenge, or like you have less knots to untie or something, I don't know, especially if like the OP challenge beasts get those already, then like the smaller females might have 0% chance of ever winning their way back into the game if all of the big guys are winning or getting these advantages to win their way back into the game. And it just, I don't know. I feel like that low-key seems unfair. I would be interested to learn about what these advantages for the challenges actually are, because if they are too overpowering, like you're totally just like picking the winner basically by picking like what the advantages are. Production can sort of handpick who they want to win their way back into the games, kind of thing.
Yeah, and another thing is he never really specified like the advantages on the Edge of Extinction, whether or not like the players would have to go out and find them to then sell them, or if it's like each player is given an advantage that they get to sell when they get to the Edge. And then it's like, well, that seems kind of unfair, because if one person gets given like a steal a vote and another person gets given like, I don't know, something useless, like that seems like it could be really unbalanced. I feel like this is way too many moving parts to put in a game that's already like going to be super nasty because it's all winners. Like,
no, I 100% agree. There hopefully are like is not going to be hella advantages, because say you have normal hidden immunity idols buried at the island of the people still in the game, and then you're going to have advantages on the edge, which might be hidden immunity idols, might be something like steal a vote, block a juror, like some kind of weird advantages. But then I don't know. It just seems like in modern day Survivor, when there are so many advantages, it is very difficult to keep track of who has what in the game. And even on the ET Canada videos of the winners just talking about how the game has changed, so many of the old school players made comments about like, who has this advantage? Oh, now that's in play. This only works for like 3 tribal councils. It's a lot to keep track of. And I feel like in an all winners season, we don't really necessarily need this extra fluff, because I feel like the winner gameplay is going to be interesting enough without all of this other like moving pieces. Because now on the TV screen, is it going to tell us like, oh, Kelly, 2 hidden immunity idols, and then it'll be like Bob, 1 fire token, Billy, 3 fire tokens, kind of things. Because like once all of these moving parts start to happen and people start to get voted out and things start to get traded, I feel like I won't remember, oh, this person has 1 fire token, that person has 0, this person has 6, and they just bought 4 advantages, kind of thing. I don't know. And then also with episodes only being 42 minutes long, how are we going to have time for camp life, for going to the Edge of Extinction, for tribal council, for reward or an immunity challenge, and then adding fire tokens on top of that? I just feel like everything will be so rushed. I would rather see camp life happening, like, oh, who's aligned with who, like people talking about the fun things that happen in Survivor, rather than maybe spending 5 minutes on who has what fire tokens each episode. And with Edge, it's just, I'm worried that the episode's editing is just going to be off and we won't get to see the whole picture or a lot of strategy, because we're seeing too much of the fluff. Because like, yeah, I think the winners can have this strategic gameplay where we don't need all of this extra fluff.
I wonder though if they are going to have idols hidden on the people's island, like the island of the people who are still in the game. Because it seems to me like it would be better to um hide fire tokens instead. Because Jeff Probst was saying it's all about supply and demand. And it's like there's not really a demand for advantages if you have idols, I don't think, or there's not as much of a demand because it's like if I have 2 idols, I'm not going to spend 5 fire tokens on like a steal a vote or an idol nullifier or something because I have 2 idols. So I feel like that's just it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I feel like I wish they would have tried this on a non-winner season because I think like Edge of Extinction, you could see it in season 38. You can figure out with the community backlash, pros and cons from the season airing. But if you're trying this on an all-winner season, I think something like this could really make or break the season. I don't know. I think, like I said, the winners have enough strategic chops to make an interesting 42 minutes without all of the other random stuff. I think Edge on the season is interesting because I'll just be so sad when all of the cool people that I'm rooting for get voted out early, and then at least we can still see them on the edge of extinction. Low key, it would be interesting if they posted like longer Edge of Extinction clips onto YouTube, sort of like Ponderosa videos, and then maybe cut down the Edge of Extinction time from the actual episode so we see more of the camp life. Because I don't know, I'm not sure. Did the winners see the backlash from Chris winning Survivor season 38? Because if yes, then they might not vote for the person who wins their way back from the edge of extinction unless the person wins their way back at the merge. I feel like I don't think we'll be seeing another Chris Underwood win, final 6 come back, win the game, especially if these winners did see the backlash from season 38.
Yeah, I feel like they did see the backlash from 38 because 38 would have been filmed and then it would have been the monsoon season in Fiji, I think, and then they would have come back and filmed 40 and 39. So I think they would have seen the Chris backlash, and I think the production would have known not to do the same thing again. But then again, I feel like sometimes there's backlash and the production is just like, cool, don't care. Like there was a lot of backlash against the fire challenge when it was first implemented, and now we're still doing the fire challenge. So it seems like they don't really care what fans think if they think it makes the game cool.
Yeah, so I would be very interested to see how these fire tokens play out. I think the biggest questions right now are like, are the number of fire tokens finite from day one? Are there only 20? Everyone gets 1 from the start? Or is it like there's clues to find more fire tokens on the island? You can win them by winning a reward challenge. Everyone on the tribe gets 2 fire tokens. If you win an individual immunity challenge, you get extra fire tokens. Like, how is this currency going to work? And I guess it would be explained in the 90-minute premiere. But I feel like with Jeff's 2-3-minute video that was posted online, they're going to need a while, I think, to explain all of this and some nice graphics and everything because I think there's a lot of open questions in the air, and I just hope that the team fleshed this out enough to make it a cohesive game piece for the game. And I wonder, like, if executed correctly, I think fire tokens can be very, very interesting and very cool, especially on an all-winner season where the gameplay will be a higher level play, because I feel like all of these people are very smart. They've played the game before. They will be thinking outside of the box. And I think it would be cool to see like how people barter and haggle for fire tokens. So like Alyssa was saying, if the person on the edge asks for like 5 fire tokens for some kind of advantage or whatever, then the person on the game still only has 2, and then you have to align with someone who has 3 to get to 5. That could be interesting. Make or break alliances, show that you have trust in someone to like share that you're going to get an advantage, or put a target on your back if you ask someone that doesn't actually like you and then they use it against you. Like, yo, Bob just bought something off the edge of extinction, rat them out, get them voted out, or like flush the advantage or whatever that they're getting. That can be very, very interesting. I'm just afraid this whole segment is going to take up too much screen time and then be very lopsided on the people that the editors are focusing on, because 42 minutes is so freaking short. You have 20 amazing winners. And then if you're spending 5 minutes on Edge, 5 minutes on fire tokens, like it's just going to be the same few people always getting screen time.
Especially because like Reem got so much screen time the first couple episodes of Edge of Extinction, despite not being relevant whatsoever. And it's like you can't give someone 5 minutes of screen time the first time they're on Edge just because they're the only person on Edge. You know? So they need to.
Reem is such a character. She should just greet everyone who comes there and then like harass them.
Yeah.
I need to turn on my light.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those things where they need to be better about budgeting their time. And I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to be like a lot of previous big hitter seasons where the first couple episodes are going to focus on like the big names. And then in the back half of the season, they'll try to make us care about like the person who's going to win, but they'll kind of fail because we haven't seen enough of them.
Yeah, so for you all watching, let us know in the comments down below what you're thinking of fire tokens, the video that was posted, and all of that. Do you think it will help this season or hurt this season? I'm personally just excited for the season to start, honestly. Whether the fire tokens are a flop or not, that is to be seen. But I think just the hype and everything around the season is just so cool, so great. Australian Survivor starting in 2 weeks, and that is just so exciting as well. There's just a lot to look forward to, even if fire tokens do flop.
Yep, and like we said, we're going to be podcasting on Friday about the ET Canada videos that were posted for each of the players. So tune in on Friday for that, and we'll see you guys then. Bye.
Thanks for watching.